So I kind of want to talk to you guys about this ongoing thing that's been happening inside the tech world. The tech industry is like an umbrella term, right? For example, you got tech and then you have multiple things, like from cameras to gaming to multiple different things, right? I don't want to dabble within the gaming industry. So the Nintendo Switch is coming out in June. Pre-orders just hopped out, sold out really fast. And I think they did 2 to 3 waves as of late. I kind of want to talk about it, right? There are some good things, of course, but I feel like this is a bad thing. And this bad thing is going to start a wave of changes coming into the gaming industry. What's up, everybody? My name is Elijah, and I talk about tech and all things tech. And also, I like to also give you a different lifestyle videos involving tech and all things tech. And this video is just nothing but a discussion where a lot of stuff is opinionated and a lot of stuff is facts. This is just like any discussion video that I have created, where it's just nothing but a discussion and we just have a conversation. And just like you guys having a debate or a discussion with your friends, a lot of stuff is opinionated, a lot of the stuff has some type of facts with it and some type of knowledge and understanding of it. And I just want this to just be a talking point and just to have some type of input, I guess, even though my input doesn't matter. So before we start this video, for some people who might think that, oh my goodness, this guy is talking about gaming, this guy is supposed to be just tech, like, trust me, let me go ahead and prove you wrong. First thing first, I have a OLED Nintendo Switch. The other gaming system I do have is a PS5. This right here is a PlayStation Pro controller. Not just, casuals who are just gaming just for an hour or two or just gaming once a week. Get these controllers, because this controller is very expensive, and these are the ones with the paddles on the back and good for competitive gaming. And I also have a PC, and this is pre-built. I did not build this one, so please do not hate me on this one, because a lot of people hate pre-builds, but I got a pre-built PC. This is my second PC. My very first PC was also a pre-built as well. Don't get me wrong, I can build a PC, but I'd rather just do a pre-built and just keep it pushing. But my next PC will be built. This PC has an NVIDIA 470 GPU with an i7 Intel CPU, and also 32 gigabyte of RAM. I take this pretty serious. I'm just not some guy just talking about gaming. So let's get into this video. Before we start getting into the nitty-gritty of everything and also the discussion I truly want to have, let's go ahead and talk about the good things that are coming to the Switch 2. First, we will have upgraded hardware, a newer custom NVIDIA chip, and to be honest, that is a big upgrade from the original chip that the Nintendo Switch do have. The original chip that the 2017 version of the Nintendo Switch had a mobile chip, so it was very outdated, and it wasn't as powerful as it should be compared to their competitors. Couldn't run a lot of the games that were just coming out, and the only games that you could run was specifically just for the Nintendo Switch. So if you were to play, for example, something like EA Sports, Madden or something like that, it would be a downgrade version of that game. It would look clunky, it wouldn't look good, but now the game will look just as beautiful as if you were playing on an actual system. Next, we'll be talking about the graphics. So from the handheld perspective, we'll be going up to 1080p, which is really good, because from the 2017 version it was 720p, and when it's docked we will now be getting a 4K resolution, whereas the Nintendo Switch back in 2017 was just a 1080p. And this is all thanks to the new chip that was inputted inside the device. Now with the display as well, we will be getting an increase of the display. So the display will be a little bit bigger from this original 6.2 display screen, but the OLED, like the one I have, has a 7-inch. Now the Nintendo Switch will be at 8 inches, and will be possibly, now it will have a refresh rate of 120, which is really good as well. I think that's a pretty good upgrade too, from what it used to be, because to be honest, it sounds like we are upgrading from the fact that this is quote-unquote mobile device in the sense to now we are actually having a stronger gaming system. Now our storage will be upgraded too, from the original 32 gigabytes to 256 gigabytes. But this is being rumored, so this is not concrete yet. And now we are upgrading our frames per second from 30 to 60. Also, another huge upgrade. Battery life seems like it should be going a little bit higher. There are no statistics behind this, or no stats, but no specs behind this, where I was not able to really find anything about it. But I know that, but I heard that it should be increasing, because the older model had a 4.5 to 9 hours, and now it should be likely equal or slightly better. And then we got the Joy-Cons, right? The Joy-Cons would be a little bit different, and also more. To me personally, I think this is like one of like those things that is overlooked. So instead of having a slide, I believe I have like a magnetic attachment to it. So to me personally, I think it's pretty good, because one little chip off of like one of those the handlers where it holds, it's not going to hold on tight, or it would be starting to deteriorate. I'm pro magnetic, to be honest. I think this portion of it is very overlooked. And now the other new feature we have is that the Joy-Con will be used as like a mouse. That portion I will not understand. I feel like that's to each his own. I don't think that part is not an upgrade to me, but of course it makes sense if you're going to come out with games in the near future for it. And another perk that is also coming with the Nintendo Switch, which is pretty good, right? So day one launch, we will be having Mario Kart World, which is a really good game in my opinion, from all the videos that I have watched from other content creators. The game looks pretty solid. The game looks sleek. I think the game looks beautiful, honestly. And then of course you got the Switch 2 edition of the Legend of Zelda. I feel like to each his own, but for me personally, because I mean, like, for example, you're just getting an upgraded version of Zelda. Nothing changed, just more so the visuals, and teach his own, right? But if you love Zelda, I feel like this right here would probably be a bit upgrade for you. I never really liked Zelda like that. It's not my type of game. Yeah, teach his own. And then you got all the older games that already came out, but now it's going to be supporting this. It's the Hogwarts Legacy, which is really good for a handheld device. Cyberpunk, also a really good upgrade in my opinion, because the Switch was always looked at as an afterthought because it wasn't able to support these type of games, but now it's able to support these type of games. And then you got the Final Fantasy remake is also being integrated into this new Switch 2 as well. And also you got Street Fighter 6, and in the near future, Donkey Kong Bonanza, which also looks like a beautiful game. Not my type of game because I'm more so of a Super Mario, Luigi Mansion type of guy, but this looks pretty solid, not gonna lie. And then also there's Dust Bloods that's coming from Software. That's pretty cool too, to be honest. I'm not a From Software diehard, but I like their games. Their games are pretty solid. I came from Elden Ring. They make really good games, really very, very challenging games, to each his own, but I think the games are beautiful and they're played very well. And also the plots, the story, just the whole thing about the game is just phenomenal. There's going to be some really good games coming on the initial launch and also the post launch. And what I mean by post launch is going to be kind of like in the near future. Like, for example, the Donkey Kong is going to come out the month after the console releases, and then there's going to be games coming out throughout the year, which is pretty cool, so you don't have to wait that long. Now, after all the pros, let's go ahead and get into why I am making this video, and it needs to have a discussion. The Switch 2 is coming out in June, right? And it's been some pricing readjustments, quote unquote, because of the terrorists, and they had to cancel the pre-order. Not cancel the pre-orders, but cancel on when they were going to drop the pre-orders, just to see how terrorists was going to affect the launch of this console. And to be honest, I mean, this console coming out at the price range that is coming out with, long story short, I'm not going to get this console. So listen, this is coming from somebody who games on different consoles, right? Various of consoles, right? From the PS5 to the PCs to the Nintendo Switch to the sometimes gaming on my phone to gaming on so many different devices. So I'm not just a Nintendo head, right? I don't play just Nintendo games. I love Nintendo games. I grew up with Nintendo. Nintendo definitely was one of my gateways getting into gaming in general, right? And also in a way into the tech world, right? And like outside of just Apple, gaming was also another entryway because I always wanted the new games and everything of that sort, right? And I always wanted the newest systems and stuff like that. To be honest, man, this Switch 2, I just don't see myself getting it. And like, for example, like I mainly game on my PS5 and PC, and I game on my Nintendo Switch at a handheld perspective. So if I don't want to get up and I'm just chilling with my girlfriend, I'm chilling with family, or I'm going out of town, whatever the case may be, I'm gaming on my Nintendo Switch. I'm just trying to give you guys a backstory of just a normal consumer who games so much on so many different devices, and I just don't see the thought process behind this, like of purchasing this, because first of all, the Switch 2 is coming out around like $450 to $500, right? And I believe that's plus tax and stuff like that. So that's coming with the bundle of the Mario Kart World and without the bundle, right? So it's gonna be like $500, somewhere around there, right? So that's almost the same price of the PS5 when it first dropped, right? Hear me out. It does not have the same power as the PS5 would have, right? It wouldn't have that. It wouldn't have that. But at the same time, you're charging that much for that, right? Cool, whatever. Now let's get into the price hikes for the games, right? So for example, Mario Kart World will be close to $80, I believe. And personally, I just don't like. I think the game is beautiful, right? I think the game is beautiful. I see it. And I think like this is a phenomenal game. I can see the longevity in this game, the open world, Mario Kart world. That's beautiful. But for $80, I don't think it's worth it. It's just, I don't know. Like, I mean, there's so many different games nowadays that are cheaper and that holds their value, and you could go back and keep on playing. Because, for example, Nintendo makes really good games, and thing is, they make these games to where you have to buy these Nintendo Switches. For example, if I buy Nintendo Switch for $500, right, and I pay for Mario Kart, that'd be an extra $80. If I pay for Donkey Kong, that's an extra $80. If I keep on paying for like these other games supposed to be coming out, that's an extra $80. And thing is, what I'm pretty much saying is this: we don't just buy the system, right? We don't buy the system just for the system. We buy the system for the games, more than likely. If you buy Xbox, you buy it with the games, right? I remember those days whenever we get the Xbox, we get Gears of War and we get Halo. And literally that would last us. And those games were phenomenal. But just with everything now, everything's just so freaking expensive. And now this is gonna create a wave for gaming companies to say, oh, we can price hike if people are going to actually pay these prices, because they know that Nintendo gaming systems, they don't have the same power output as their competitors when it comes to their devices. But one thing Nintendo does sell is more so on like nostalgia, or like they sell on family friendly games. They sell on Mario, honestly. They sell on stuff like that because they know that is a huge cult following behind it, and which is warranted because those games are good. The Mario, the Luigi's, like those are really good games, and they will live on past the time I'm alive, honestly. I don't know, man. I just do not see it. I can only see people who love these Nintendo exclusive titles. Get the Switch. Like, if you love it, like literally, it just makes sense. Cause I love the Nintendo exclusive. I think they're good games, right? I think they're really good games. But man, they're not worth it. For me personally, and like I said, this comes from somebody who plays on a PS5, a PC, and also the Nintendo Switch. I just like playing a variety of games, but just for the price hike of everything, I just don't see myself getting this. It's killing everybody from this system, and I love the system. The system looks good. It looks clean. It looks like what it should be for all the consumers who love the Nintendo Switch. But for the people who are just normal people like me that like to game on different systems and just love gaming in general, this doesn't make any sense, man. But honestly, I would like to hear everybody's feedback on this, man. And please tell me if I'm going crazy, if I'm dumb, if I don't make any sense. I would love that, to be honest, because man, I just don't see it. I don't know. I don't see it.